It was a horn.
Oh, was it a horn?
Yeah.
Picture being in your front room and
Never
saying,
overstep the line. Never a crossword.
If we were going to do something one day, I think you'd be the perfect person.
this was our playground, Michael, wasn't it? As we grew up, we spent a lot of time coming here from 7 years old.
Like 7, 8. As soon as we got bikes,
Yeah.
I think got your independence. Sort of came here and exercised our independence. Building dens in the woods.
Sledging down the world's steepest hill there, which probably isn't that steep now. But when you're back there, I remember coming in most winters, walking on the ice, taking risks,
deadly ice.
all the things that we'll be advising
swings.
our children not to do now.
Yeah. Building ramps for the bikes.
Yeah.
Socialising, exercising, taking risks, creating, den building.
So was it 40 years now, Michael, our friendship?
40 years plus, yep.
I moved to your road, joined your school. You allowed me into your friendship group. I made you go in goal.
A lot, yes.
Because I love football, and I made
Indeed.
sure that you love football, didn't you, Michael?
I did eventually, yeah.
So yes. No, and that was it. We just started hanging out together. Remember how many lads were on our road? 19 boys on our road.
Without wanting to sound like we were born before the war, we used to knock on for each other.
Yeah.
Before phones were invented, people would actually knock on each other's doors. And everybody wouldn't be surprised to see a little child there saying, is so-and-so coming out to play?
And when did we know it was time to come home? I can remember. Because somebody would ring a bell.
No, it was a horn.
Oh, was it a
I
horn?
remember, yeah.
When?
My mum would blow a horn, do you not remember?
Maybe I remember it as a bell. That's how old that we've got.
Yeah,
But that was it.
From the park, from the woods.
That
You'd
was-
head home and have your dinner.
That was the indication of dinner time.
Yeah,
And that was it. We were allowed out. No phones.
yeah, very
I don't
independent.
remember anybody not turning up. How do you give the kids their independence now?
When we walked the playground.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we have to do. Let them take some risks. So, just celebrated 25 years at Pentagon.
Yep, long time.
You did leave me on my own for a few years. I didn't go down the university route. I worked for my dad, and I think I always wanted to do something for myself. And when I set up Pentagon, I had 3-4 years on my own selling, which was exciting, but as I knew there was a brilliant business to be built, I needed somebody to do it with, and we made the call, didn't we? I came out to see you. I can picture being in your front room and saying, I'm not quite sure where this is going, but we've got an exciting opportunity, and I think I might need somebody to help share it with and share the responsibility and actually someone to enjoy it with.
Yeah.
And I think it was a fantastic decision for me. I hope you agree.
I do. It was good. Remember those first few years being very seat of the pants, very, very busy, hustling, sort of learning about how to work business and how it all goes together. They were a really good challenge, and then eventually developed into a proper business. We got to grips with it and started to bring in lots of other talented people.
Decide what we were good at, and then the bits that we weren't good at, we had to go out and find the people
Get
that
some
were
good
really good.
experts in, build a great
And
team.
a lot of those people are still with us, aren't they?
Indeed.
I knew when we were at school together that if we were going to do something one day, I think you'd be the perfect person. Because if ever I couldn't do something, you were always the person that I came to help me. And even if you didn't know the answer, I knew you'd know a lot more than me. So whether it was maths homework or physics, chemistry, or anything a little bit technical, I do feel like we had that where you'd help me out.
Yeah, definitely. And the ability to get along and be open and frank with each other. And I think the interesting thing was, hey, you went into business 5 years before me.
Yeah,
And I think you actually came with a lot of experience and a real sort of commercial instinct. And I think between the two of us, we put together the rest of the business and just figured it out as we went along. And it took a little bit of time, but I think without that original commercial instinct, I don't think we'd have ever put the building blocks behind something and managed to turn it into the business it is today.
maybe we can thank Vinny Snell for.
Oh, good old Vinny.
That's my dad. Yeah, one of the most commercially shrewd people. But actually,
It's in the genes.
yeah, made a lot of friends actually in business as well. He knew how to do business, and that sometimes when you do big deals, you've got to be friends with the people. And think a lot of the schools that we've dealt with for the last 20 plus years, we've had great relationships with.
Still working with them now. Yeah,
and
still
a lot
good
of that,
friends with them.
a lot of that started out. So that first contract that we won, probably a year or two after you came in,
The big Cheshire tender.
the big tender. Did they not have spreadsheets back then? Because it was a piece of paper about this big, 49 school names down one side, about 30 or 40 markings, playground markings, and we had to do a
target walls,
cost price analysis.
Yeah, and
which
then
I
go
think
and present it to the council.
So we turned up at Tarvin and walked in to present our tender. And who did we see? Our old swimming teacher, Miss Bleasdale. Do you remember her first words as we worked in? Mr. Bischoff, Mr. Snell. And we were like, wow, I can't believe that we've got to present the biggest job we may ever win to our old swimming teacher.
Did we turn up in our swimming trunks? I don't remember.
No, I don't think that would have been allowed. But we won the tender, so I'm guessing that we probably did. But most of those schools, we've got relationships. You think of people like Dave at D Point, some of those guys we've dealt with for 20 years that have been in headship, and we've seen them sort of grow as we've gone as a business.
I think that tender was probably worth a quarter or a third of our turnover at the time. And I think we had to design the products, install the products, schedule the installs, account manage the customers, invoice it. Every little bit of part of that contract was kind of fulfilled by us because we didn't really have a team at the time. And I think that helped a lot in our development as a business and a bit of a stepping stone again to where we are.
From doing one job at a time to having to manage 49 jobs. So
yeah, accelerated learning curve, I think they call it. Yeah, well done. Yeah, what about how I think about Andy at work and what he brings to the business? Andy's got an amazing commercial instinct. I think he's a natural commercial thinker. He lives very much in the present. He always makes sure that today and this week are looked after and cared for. He makes very good decisions quickly. He makes things happen. Always been a fun guy to work with, always kept it relaxed, always sort of been inclusive, always very popular in the office.
Never overstep the line.
Never overstep the line, never a crossword.
But, we've allowed ourselves to have a crossword, haven't we?
Not many.
No, but if we're going to work that close together, I think we now know that everything we try and do is in the best interest of each other in the business.
Yeah.
And whether we make the right or wrong decision, we'll back each other 100%, which is massively important.
Yeah, challenge each other.
Yeah, and I think what you bring is almost the opposite to me. Is why we complement. Is while I'm thinking about this afternoon and tomorrow, and sometimes this morning, what's happening in the business, you're looking at 1, 3, and 5 years, and that's how I think 10 years ago when we started putting a strategic plan together, and we knew why we were doing what we were doing, and that actually improving children's lives was massively valuable, and our staff would think the same. If we can get people that think like us in the business and care about why we're doing what we're doing, and that's not just about what's happening today, in the long term, I think that's made it work.
Taking care of today and also with one eye on the future.
And I saw you on the side and you came on and you were about 200 miles an hour down that wing.
Yeah, as I turned up, my exhaust fell off the car.
They were as bad as each other.
They were pretty bad.
So we want to give as many children the opportunity to be able to have fantastic play environments